Okay. Uh, Let me see. Can you hear me? Can somebody hear me? Okay. Somebody else who hasn't got any sound. Let me see what's going on. Can you hear me now? Okay, good. Well, that's one of those things when you are trying to do something and you never know if all the little equipment will work. So we are here at a special assembly and a special place where we have assembled with a lot of people who are actually into this subject of what are we going to do in this world and with this world once this whole corona thing is behind us. Because let's not forget, what is actually happening right now is a chance for us to actually reconsider how we are dealing with this earth and how we are dealing with ourselves, and that it's probably a very good idea to go inside ourselves a little bit more. To all of you at home, like I already said, quarantine, what is it actually besides having the chance of doing a lot of meditation and practicing to live a simple and easy life. And yes, of course, I understand sometimes it might be difficult, but you're not alone, you know. The fact is that all of you right now, and I see a wonderful group of people already watching, all of you, we're all in this together. And that's the wonderful thing. We're all in this together. So we are not alone. We are all in this together. And therefore, feeling very alone and thinking that it might not be a good idea to be this long on your own, well, you know, it's a practice. And if you look at it as a practice, then you will find out that ultimately it's a very good thing that we finally can go inside. But in quarantine, there are, of course, a lot of psychological results. And some people have already touched upon this, even when I, as usual, posted very positive things about it, right? When you post very positive things, then people will always react, well, I don't feel it's this positive at all to be in quarantine and to have to be afraid of other people all of a sudden. And if somebody is coughing very closely to you, then you might be even afraid of other people and of all these social contacts. Whereas, of course, social contacts in itself are very important. So there's psychological results. And one of the psychological results of quarantine is, of course, loneliness. You might feel lonely. But like I said, ultimately, we're all in this together. Right now, as we're sitting here and as we are talking together, and I see all these lovely people checking in, we're all in this together. So we have a lot of time on our hands probably now to come up with a lot of things and to ultimately turn into ourselves, because that's what it's all about. We're getting the chance to turn into ourselves. We might get stuck in our own truths, which is, of course, a very important thing. Sometimes we get stuck in our own truths, the truth of what we think is reality. Whereas, if you have ever considered this, reality is, of course, something that we have created. So when you're stuck in that truth, in that idea of reality, it turns out that is something that you have created. That's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it, because we do it all the time. We create our own reality. So to be stuck in your truth, but don't get stuck in your own truth in the sense that you're immovable. try to look around and see what's happening, what's going on all around you. There's wonderful things happening right at this moment as we speak, but we cannot experience them, or we might not even want to see them because we're so stuck in parts of our own drama. And the drama that we have is once again self-created. Now, that's a very important point, that the drama is self-created. We can have the drama of missing contact with others. We can have the drama even of missing physical contact, not being able to hug somebody and say, how are you doing? Or as is appropriate in the West, to shake hands. And it turns out that that itself is a form of drama creation. We are creating that drama. Now, what is that self-created drama? That self-created drama is nothing else than putting layer of layer on the next layer, on the next layer, on the next layer, to the sense that we cannot really see anymore where this whole drama started. And this whole drama actually started somewhere where it wasn't that difficult at all. But we let go of it, and because we let go of it, then we don't create anymore. But the moment when we are creating it, then we're stuck in it. And as long as we're stuck in it, then it's layer upon layer upon layer. We do not see the root cause anymore of the drama that we have created. And you're the owner of your drama, just like you're the heir of your karma. You're the owner of your drama. And that means that within that drama, you can have the opposite creation. You can have a positive touch. You can have a positive look upon your drama. And you can actually change your drama to the sense that right now you will suddenly feel more positive about everything that's happening. And I understand. It's not like I don't understand that if you have sick people who are close to you, or if even your mom or dad are sick, or your grandparents are sick right now, or maybe even your daughter is sick. If that happens, then of course you feel attached to them, and this attachment causes the suffering. But the cause of suffering is the attachment itself. So that's a deep realization, that the cause of attachment, that the attachment is the cause of suffering. Now, how to do and how to deal with this situation? Because we're all probably sitting at home and we're all doing our own little thing. And maybe we don't know how to deal with it and how to turn this around, how to turn this whole situation for ourselves around. Well, one of the things is to visualize very strongly a new situation. What's the new situation? Well, one of the new situations is, and this I have seen a lot, of course, already in the past few days, about the air quality getting better in certain parts of the world, the water quality getting better in certain parts of the world. There's less traffic, there's less pollution. So in that sense, there's lots of positive things happening. But there's another very positive thing, I would say, and that is, right now, the whole world is united in a sense that we would like to beat this virus, and the whole world would like to finally go within themselves and realize within themselves what is actually going on. And if you're not doing that right now, and you're only part of that whole drama, and you're part of that whole drama machine that you have created, then you're actually in a bad movie. And you have created the movie, you have written the script for the movie, and nobody else is interested in the movie. The only one that's interested in the movie is you. So then you get, for instance, the drama of, am I sick right now? And you start coughing a little bit. oh, I might have corona. Well, yeah, you might have corona. Lots of people survive corona. Actually, we hear about less people who survive it and actually who have healed already, because that's not the fact and figures that are brought out. In fact, it is like this, that lots of people who have actually already healed do not go back to a hospital or to a doctor and say, listen, I've healed already. So lots of people have already healed. There's lots of things going on that are actually quite positive. I think there was a quite interesting documentary that I once saw And it was actually about the American Indians, about the Native Americans. And there was something there because for a long time people have blamed the Native Americans for bringing syphilis back to Europe. Well, it turned out that they didn't have syphilis at all. The only thing that they had was a disease that sort of looked like syphilis, and they would communicate it through the skin. As you know, in these traditions there's lots of paintings and stuff going on and tattoos, and they would produce it through the skin and would never be sick and become immune to it. That's interesting, because actually that means that this same virus that we are seeing now, the only reason that we are becoming sick of it is through external factors that have a specific effect on us. So if our immune system would be strong, and we would be strong, and we would be focused on the self in the sense that we know what's going on in the body and what the body needs, then probably this illness wouldn't even grab you the way that it does now, right? So that's one of the results that you can realize, that you actually have a very positive effect on any kind of disease that might occur in this vessel which we call the body. Now, for years I've been talking about the fact that we are not this vessel, we are not this body. And you can tell people 100 times, 1,000 times that you are not the body and you are not this vessel. And still we are attached to it as if it is us. Yes, it is a form of possibility to present ourselves within this sphere. It's a manifestation within this sphere. So in that sense, this body is very handy. But are we the body? No, we're not. So that's another thing that's very important. You are not the body. You are pure energy. And if you are pure energy and you fully realize this, you can actually control whatever is happening here. So that's a completely new situation again, to look at the body in the sense that you are the one that can control it and has a specific effect on it. Can you stop it from dying? Can you stop it from withering away? Can you stop it from ultimately fading away? No, of course not. We all get old, we get sick and we die. That's a very logical occurrence in our life. But ultimately we have a specific effect on it. And that effect has a lot to do with our resistance to diseases. And our resistance to diseases is of course communicated and influenced by so many different things, to which I will later in this little live video come as well. Now, there's another way to deal with this, and that's a very strange thing that I'm going to say, and that's a constant and endless positivity about everything that's happening. A constant and endless positivity. Seeing that there's lots of positivity in whatever drama we have created for ourselves. Seeing that there's positivity in whatever is happening around us. That's wonderful. But can we do it? The only way we can do it is if we focus on that positivity and we don't focus on these other things. Because in the media and on Facebook here and everywhere else, you have seen lots and lots of information coming by that had something to do with all sorts of conspiracy theories and all sorts of drama creation. It must be 5G and it must be this and it must be that. Well, there's a very positive chance that it has something to do with it. But when we focus on it, we give it more energy. So don't focus on those things. Focus on yourself and focus on going inward. Focus on going towards the heart, not to the mind, because in the mind is the creation of the drama. In the heart is love and peace and love for all sentient beings. Love amongst us in this moment as we sit here. So there's another way to think of it, and that's to make the best of things. Now, you can sit at home and say, oh, this is terrible and I don't know how to deal with this and I feel so lonely and whatever. Or you can say, hey, this is an ultimate moment to finally do some practice and to finally reflect and to really come to certain insight about myself and about my life. There are certain things that you will be confronted with right now, and that's not all bad. It's actually a good thing, and in that sense I would like to say just make the best of things. Notice the drama creation. Notice the moment when you start creating the drama. Notice the moment when you start thinking, oh, I have a little cough, or I have a little sniff, and I must have this, and I must have that, and then I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get that, and I'm going to miss my kids, and I'm going to miss my grandparents. And that's all drama. That's all creation. The moment where it happens is the moment where you feel fear, and the fear has something to do with the attachment to the body. So once you let that fear go, then it turns out there is only a vessel which you use in this sphere, and that there is just being in this moment. That's all there is. So when you're at home right now, there's only being in this moment, and that's wonderful. So I would say do not go along with the conspiracy theories. Let them be. It's okay to notice the conspiracy theories. It's okay to sometimes say, okay, I've seen a couple of things about these conspiracy theories. Maybe it's 5G, maybe it's the fact that Big Pharma wants to sell vaccines. Maybe it's the fact that they want to put a chip in your body and follow you all the rest of your life. Wonderful. You know what? When you are one with yourself, nobody can do anything about that. 5G cannot enter into an atmosphere of selfness. Pure self is where you are. Pure self is power. And all that other stuff is just the outside world. Mara, that's the outside world. It's fake. Everything that happens there. So if people think that they are going to be infiltrated by all that, let it be. It's not important. Let it be. Illuminati, the rich people trying to control us. Let it be. Because you are the one in control of yourself. You are the one that can control the mind. This is the greatest power that we have. This is that power, which is so wonderful. So you actually control this whole situation. So let it be. To notice it is one thing, but to focus on it gives it even more energy. And you don't want that. You don't want to give energy to those things. Let it be. You create your reality. Well, if you create your reality, why would you be so obsessed with whatever else is happening in that outside world? You can create whatever you want. How do you create that reality? By focusing on the beautiful things, by focusing on love, by focusing on the fact that there's oneness. There's oneness right now. As we're sitting here, I'm communicating with you, I can see you, you can see me, I can see all these people on the top there of my screen, I can see you. And we are one. We are love. And finally, we are more or less, sorry to say, forced towards that love. We are forced towards that love. We are now in love with each other. People loving each other, being here in this moment. Isn't that wonderful? Finally. Oh yes, and we're using this stupid system of Facebook, which is also full with all sorts of other nonsense, but we're using this system for the positivity that we're creating, the positivity that we have right now together. So realize at all times that there's so many with you, so many people with you. Right now there's like hundreds of people already watching. So we're all together, we're with each other. We are not separated from each other. The only one that can separate us is your mind. That's the dualistic thinking. There's me and there's you. No, there is us. We're all in this together. And yes, that's actually wonderful. Finally, we can realize that it's true we're in this together. Can you feel it? It's very important that you feel it right now. So, those close to you, you can still give them a hug. That's wonderful. Give them a hug. It's okay, because they're already in your house, they're already in your home. Yes, and it's wonderful to see you too. I see all these lovely people saying lovely things. Hi, how are you doing? Nice to see you in live too. And hi, how are you from Japan? Nice to see you. Yes, those close to you, give them a hug, and do it now. Don't wait. I want you to do it now, right now. Are you sitting there with somebody? Give them a hug. That's wonderful. You see, this is what's really happening right now. We are all in this together. Finally, we're all in this together, and finally we can realize we're in this together. There is something weird going on in the world. Nature is forcing us to finally go inside and be one. Now, isn't there anything more beautiful? And yes, there are horrible things happening, and people are dying, but it's also forcing us to go inside. And the fact that people are dying is still, we can still feel empathy with that, and we can still feel, we can express our feelings to those people and to their relatives, sure. But ultimately, what is happening now? Nature is forcing us inside ourselves and to feel that we are one. And that's the most wonderful thing there is. All are one. And if you're completely alone, which might happen, you might be at this moment completely alone at home. I saw somebody who said, yeah, but I'm alone and nobody is hugging me and I'm missing physical touch. Well, touch yourself, hold yourself, feel that it's okay to be there. Feel that it's okay to be you. You are perfect as you are. There's nothing that needs to change. The only thing that needs to change is to feel inside, in your heart, where you are. And in yoga we would say in the heart chakra. Feel inside that you are here, really present in this moment. And it's okay. And you're allowed to be here, and you're allowed to be who you are. It's wonderful. And right now, in this moment, we are one. But not only in this moment, outside this moment, I am with you. And I'm sure all these people that I see on the top, they are with you too. We're all together. We're all in this together. There is more unity now than there was ever before, except for war situations. So we're together. And it didn't even have to become a war for that, except for the war that might be inside yourself. Well, stop that war. Stop the war, stop the drama. Feel love and affection for everybody, for every sentient being, because it's so beautiful. And if you are completely alone, you might do a prayer, we call that atitana. So you might say a prayer and include everything in that. Include all sentient beings. Include all the beautiful cats and dogs and the elephants and the giraffe and all the animals and the monkeys that are now looking for food everywhere. Include them all in everything you're doing, and include all the people, and include the area where you live. Even if those people are not busy with the kind of things that we are doing right now, it doesn't matter, because it's all energy. We are energy. So try to encompass everybody and everything. Yes, even the people that instead of going inside and were not interested in the loving feeling of now being together, they have bought crates of beer and are lying on their couch watching Netflix. They are part of this, and you can encompass them with your love. They need that probably even more than all the other ones. So it doesn't matter. You're not better than anybody else. We're all in this together, and we all got to live this life. This is the one life we got. If you're not going to do it now, it's never going to happen, right? So pray and do affirmations. Hug yourself. And another thing which is so important in this whole drama thing is be playful. Be playful. Make fun. Make fun of yourself. Because I think that's one of the best things that Asian people actually have. I always say that when a European person jumps over a little gate and falls flat down on his ass in a pool of mud, he will look around immediately and like, oh, I hope nobody saw this. If an Asian falls in a pool of mud and he sits there and he will start laughing and slapping his legs like, oh, this is funny what I just did. That's what you should do right now. Laugh about yourself. You are funny. You're funny in your drama. That drama that's happening in your head. The moment that you think at night, oh, I'm getting short in breath, and my nose is a little bit closed, and maybe I got it. And the next day you wake up again and you're still alive and nothing was wrong. That's your drama. Laugh about it, because that's the way to deal with it. The way to deal with it is laugh about yourself. You are funny. It's funny how your mind creates these things. It's the monkey mind. It jumps from one thing to the other. It needs those things to, keep going. So laugh about it. It's okay. And definitely be more in the heart, less in the mind. And a very important thing, and I would like to say that this is probably the most important lesson, especially now that we all have to sit in our houses and yes, maybe you're watching Netflix. I hope you're watching nice programs, whatever it is, something beautiful. But be easily satisfied. Be happy with what is. Be happy with what is. Being easily satisfied means that right in this moment, whatever there is, be it maybe a bed that isn't 100%, maybe your telephone isn't 100%, maybe you can't even watch this, this little live thing 100%. Well, that's okay. It doesn't matter, because you should be happy with what is already. We should stop being dissatisfied with everything, because being dissatisfied always makes us wanting more and wanting it different, as if it always has to become something. Nothing has to become something. It already is. It's now. Right? Okay, well, as to your immunity, I have already put a video on YouTube about that, but I can say a lot of stuff more about that. There is, of course, there's lots of herbs you can use. And as you all know, I'm very much into herbs. So, thyme, sale, oregano, basil, eating mushrooms, putting ginger in your tea, galangal, which in Holland is called Laos, green veggies, all sorts of berries, which will get all this junk out of your body, because it prepares your body for good health and for resistance if anything might occur, and vitamin C. I'm not the one that's going to tell you vitamin C heals, because vitamin C just helps your resistance. That's the only thing. Hi Deirdre, how are you doing in Ireland? Nice to see you. So, being agile, being clever about it is preparing this vessel, preparing this body for the possibility, if anything might come in, if you come into contact with any virus, that you have the possibility to survive. Sunlight. Well, I've talked about sunlight before, and sunlight, I know that it's a bit hard to get, but try to get your little moments of sun. I understand that it's not a good idea, of course, to all go to the beach and to see you all together. But try to find your own little nice quiet place, so you're still in quarantine if you find your own nice little quiet place, like I have my own quiet little place right now. But a very important thing, which a lot of people don't know, is sunlight on the white of your eyes. So if you look in the sun and you make sure that the sunlight catches on the white of your eyes, and doing it this way, the other way, then if you catch that, it actually goes into your system very quickly. So then you get vitamin D, and vitamin D is very essential for your resistance again. It's also important to keep moving. And keep moving is not running or lifting heavy weights or all that kind of stuff. I actually think it's quite ridiculous. I have said before, it would be a good idea if we could turn all those apparatus that the people are using in the gyms into energy. So put nice little energy creating apparatus on them, so that the waste of energy that's happening there is actually transformed into something we can use and is useful. No, it's short, brisk walks that are important. All this overdoing stuff, that doesn't really cut it. What cuts it is short, brisk walks. So if you have short, brisk walks, that will help your immune system. And yeah, to the extent that maybe you might start puffing a little bit, that's okay, do that. And that really helps very well. Keeping hydrated with proper water, not this reversed osmosis stuff, because there's nothing in there. It's actually quite dangerous to drink it. Make sure you get proper water with as little fluor as possible and with lots of minerals in them. Then there's echinacea, which is very good. You can add it to your tea. There's honey, wonderful product that the bees give us, especially if it's a biological honey. If necessary, this is when viruses have entered colloidal silver. And colloidal silver, we don't maybe realize, you can also spray it in your house, because it kills all sorts of bacteria when we do that, okay? So colloidal silver for killing bacteria. And you can spray colloidal silver also on air conditioners, and you can spray it on little apparatus that blow the air through your house. That actually cleanses the house very well. Then you can also use all sorts of probiotics, such as there are in kefir, but also in, for instance, raw goat milk. But if you're not using any milk products, then kefir can be made with normal water, and then you will have your probiotics that way. Then it's a very good idea to have some oils handy, especially eucalyptus and mint. They cleanse the house, they make it really clean in the sense of particles in the air. So that's a very good one. Tea tree oil. Then as to food, fermented veggies are very good for the system. Try to stop your sugar intake. Make sure you get lots of fresh veggie juice and fruit juices, including the pulp, because that's actually quite important to get rid of all the bad stuff in your body. Drink green teas. Get fresh air, try to breathe fresh air, and I put a little yoga breathing method on the YouTube channel. So use that one to really help your system. Those two methods that are on the YouTube channel, you should use them together. They are, especially, they work very good together. It's not just one method, it's both the methods. And by doing that, you will actually support the system as well. Then it's a good idea to end your showers cold. And that's quite easy, because if you slowly turn up the cold water or turn down the hot water at the end of your shower, then you feel very strong afterwards. And make sure that you ventilate your homes. And if you know that viruses and bacteria are already in the house, then it's very handy to buy an ozonator. Hi Nick, how are you doing? So it's very handy to buy an ozonator. Ozonator you can just buy in an aquarium shop. They got very cheap ones already. Just buy an ozonator, turn it on twice a day for 1 hour. Don't be too close to it, but it kills all the viruses and bacteria in your house. So it's really good. It's the reason why they use them in aquaria, to kill all sorts of bugs that are in your aquarium. And there, of course, they circulate very well. Yes, and Kantuong, don't forget to practice yoga and Qigong. Both of them very good for your health, sure. And if you know that the viruses are there, try to ventilate the home very well and use the ozonator. Now, for possibility to take a rest, especially when your mind is doing all these busy things, right? Your mind is like a monkey, and it's creating all this drama. Now you need rest. In order to get that rest, you need a method to come to rest. And on the YouTube channel, there is actually a very good method to find rest and actually to go to sleep very easily. So just look on the YouTube channel. And then another thing to do, definitely, and I've told you many, many times, turn off the Wi-Fi when you go to sleep, and turn off preferably all these signals on your phone. Especially nowadays, people put their phone right next to their heads because they want to hear whatever else is going on. No, turn off the Wi-Fi and turn off the searching of the signal that your phone is taking, because that goes straight through your brain and it's very unhealthy. Okay, it actually causes your immune system to slowly go down. So be very careful with that. A very funny thing is just being grateful and having a good laugh every once in a while. That really produces strength for your immune system. So really, laughing is very good for your immune system. And like I said before, laugh about yourself a little bit more. Laugh about the things that you're creating in your mind. Laugh about the things that you're worried about. Laugh about the fact that you're in the supermarket. You hear one guy coughing and you want to just run away because you never know. Who gives a damn, you know? Ultimately, that virus is around, and you might catch it and you might not catch it. I actually think it's sort of a lottery thing. And if you relax and you make sure that your immune system is high, you might just get it without even noticing it. And those cases have already been known. There's lots of cases where people had the coronavirus and never even knew it. Just like myself, I've had nearly every child's disease without ever noticing it. I never had any symptoms. I never had any symptoms of hepatitis A and B, which one day the doctor told me I had them. And they are taking my blood twice a year in order to find a cure. So it's all about your immune system. It's all about you. I walk a lot in the jungle, so there's lots of situations where I can catch all sorts of weird diseases, from malaria to whatever. Ultimately, in the end, it's all about your immune system. So laugh a lot, because laughing really helps your immune system. Well, and I'm definitely preaching for my own church by saying, yes, do a lot of meditation. Do a lot of meditation, because meditation keeps you out of that spin that you got going in your head. And there's lots of meditations on the YouTube channel, especially the pure self-meditation and the peace meditation. Try to look them up on the Sri Annatta YouTube channel. They're free, so you can just go there, watch the method, and use it for yourself. You can also just use it as a guided meditation, but you can also just take notes in your mind and say, okay, this is how you do it, and then you try to do it. This world will be better off. I'm here at a summit of a lot of very important people in this world. Out of the 224, only 116 could make it here. That's because quite a lot of them are not from surrounding countries or from Asia. But 116 made it, which is incredible. And we all agreed this world will be a better place after this. Yes, sure, empathy for everything that's happening. And I feel for you, and I feel for your fears, and I understand your fears. But ultimately, this world will be a better place, because we are turning into ourselves. We are finally going towards the heart. We are finally starting to really do things from the heart. We are finally connecting. We are using YouTube right now to really connect. So feel the connection. Just sit now, right now. Feel the connection. We will be more strong afterwards. We will be more aware. So there's lots of things happening. We will be more aware. And now we must change. We must be one with nature. We should be one with nature. We should be caretakers of nature. We should be guardians of the earth. That's what we are supposed to be. And we've had so many warnings. Don't you see? We've had so many warnings in the past couple of years. Just the last 3 years, there have been warning after warning after warning. And people have been denying and sticking their head in the sand. Ostrich policy. Stop doing that. We are guardians of this planet. It's such a beautiful place. There is no plan B. And the earth will go on without us. We are like the fleas in the pelt of a dog. If the dog jumps into the water and he shakes a couple of times, the fleas are out. And ultimately, what remains is the earth, and it will replenish, and it will go on. But right now, we're here, and we should be guardians. We should be taking care of it. We should be taking care of each other. We should be taking care of all sentient beings. We should be taking care of the animals. We should be aware of what's going on around us. So, if ever you go into nature, and I still advise you to do that, but try to, keep your distance and do it in a place where there's maybe some secluded area that you know, and go to that area of secluded nature and leave only your footsteps behind. Just leave your footsteps behind, nothing else. Leave just your footsteps behind. And then ultimately there will be awareness, and we will be one. We are one right now. Thank you so much for joining me. I will try to come out with a couple more videos in a row so that this connection can remain, this sharing can remain. This is so important, what we're doing right now. It's not me telling something, it's a bit of a shame that we can't exactly talk back and forth, but maybe there's another way to do that. For right now, it's just me trying to relate to you what the possibilities are and what the beautiful possibilities are from what is happening now. There are beautiful possibilities. It's all from the heart. It's all from the heart. That's where we are at now. So let's share, let's keep sharing. And thank you so much, everybody who's been here right now. Thank you so much for being here and joining in with me. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. See you again.